So it's not insured. He had to spend $2 million cash, and now we're in the situation that we can't get parts for.
Whoa, that's what you're here for.
It all started with a crash. A Bugatti Chiron Sport, one of the rarest and most powerful cars in the world, was involved in an accident that should have ended its story forever. With a price tag of over $3.6 million when new, this hypercar was not just a machine. It was a masterpiece of modern engineering, combining raw power with extreme precision. Its owner, Florida-based influencer Alex Gonzalez, had collided with the back of a small truck. Although the accident was at low speed and the truck was worth only a few $1,000s, the damage to the Bugatti was devastating. The front end of the car was crushed, carbon fiber panels shattered, airbags deployed, and critical structural components, including the front frame, were severely compromised. Initial inspections revealed that nearly everything ahead of the windshield was destroyed, and cracks in the carbon fiber monocoque chassis added a new layer of concern. Both headlights were gone, the signature horseshoe grille was ruined, and the repair bill quickly became overwhelming. Even minor damage to a car like this carries astronomical costs. Early estimates placed the parts alone at approximately $1.7 million. Faced with this, the insurance company quickly wrote the car off as a total loss, and it was sent to a salvage auction, effectively disappearing from the road before anyone could save it. For many car enthusiasts, this was a sobering moment. With only 60 Chiron Sports ever made, losing one felt like a tragedy in the automotive world. But this story was far from over. Enter Mat Armstrong, a YouTuber who built his reputation by taking cars that most people had written off and restoring them to life. Armstrong had a unique approach. He didn't just fix cars. He showed the world that with skill, determination, and creativity, seemingly impossible projects could succeed. He had tackled everything from everyday BMWs to high-end Lamborghinis, earning the respect of both enthusiasts and casual viewers alike. When news reached him that a Bugatti Chiron Sport had been wrecked and was on the scrap pile, Armstrong didn't see a dead end. He saw a challenge. Rebuilding a car of this rarity and complexity without official support was unprecedented, and attempting it would put him at odds with one of the most exclusive car brands on the planet. Bugatti, known for protecting its engineering secrets and maintaining strict control over repairs, immediately made its stance clear. They refused to supply any parts for this specific vehicle, locking the car's VIN in their system. Without factory approval or genuine parts, restoring the Bugatti outside of official channels was almost impossible. What might have ended quietly in a salvage yard suddenly became a very public confrontation between a YouTube creator and a legendary car manufacturer, with a $6 million hypercar at stake. The stakes could not have been higher. The Chiron Sport is no ordinary car. Each of the 60 vehicles produced carries unique specifications, extreme engineering, and 1,500 horsepower, making it as exclusive as modern cars get. Damage to one is not just costly. It is incredibly complex to repair. Bugatti's strict position was based on safety, reputation, and engineering reality. Even parts that might look simple or shared with other vehicles behave differently under the extreme conditions a Chiron is designed to handle. For example, some airbag modules share part numbers with regular cars like the Audi A3, but the way they deploy in a Bugatti could be drastically different. Using incorrect or improvised parts could create life-threatening safety risks. From Bugatti's perspective, allowing an independent rebuild could endanger the owner and others on the road, while also threatening the brand's reputation if a failure were to occur. Armstrong, however, saw it differently. For him, the owner's right to repair the car, combined with his own skill and past successes, justified taking on what many considered an impossible task. He knew the rebuild would be difficult, expensive, and watched by millions of viewers eager to see if he could succeed where others could not. Every discovery of hidden damage, every part sourced through secondary channels, only heightened the drama. Armstrong's early rebuild videos revealed structural issues beyond what could be handled in a typical workshop. Yet he persevered, determined to prove that even a heavily damaged hypercar could be saved as the story spread. It captured the attention of the wider car community. Social media posts, YouTube updates, and forum discussions fueled public debate. Some supported Armstrong, praising his determination, ingenuity, and the DIY spirit. They saw him as a modern underdog, challenging an established system, and showing that no car is truly beyond saving. Others sided with Bugatti, emphasizing safety, the complexities of extreme engineering, and the importance of factory certification. The debate became about more than one car. It raised questions about the balance between personal freedom to repair and the responsibilities of manufacturers when it comes to machines that operate at the limits of engineering. As attention grew, Bugatti CEO Mat Armstrong personally reached out, clarifying the company's position. He explained that while some costs circulating online were exaggerated, the fundamental safety concerns were real. Armstrong emphasized that even parts that seem compatible with other vehicles could behave unpredictably in a hypercar. The company's insistence on repairing the car at the factory was not about control or ego, but about responsibility, long-term safety, and preserving the value and performance of a vehicle designed to push the boundaries of automotive engineering. As Armstrong took on the rebuild, the challenges became immediately apparent. What first appeared to be minor cracks and broken panels quickly revealed themselves as deeply structural problems. The gearbox housing showed serious cracks. Transmission mounts were torn, and critical parts of the chassis were compromised. These were not issues that could be solved with simple replacement or patching. They required precise engineering and special equipment that only a few people in the world could operate. Armstrong and his team began sourcing what they could through secondary channels, looking for alternative parts that might fit. In some cases, components such as airbags share part numbers with more common vehicles like the Audi A3, giving a glimmer of hope that limited replacements could be done independently. Still, the majority of parts were unavailable without Bugatti's approval, and every new discovery seemed to reinforce the manufacturer's original argument that this car should only be repaired at the factory. Each update Armstrong posted brought new challenges to light, showing viewers that what appeared on the surface as a rebuild was actually a series of complex puzzles, each requiring meticulous work and extreme caution. The difficulty was not just technical. It was also financial. Without factory support, sourcing rare components or fabricating replacements was extremely expensive, and mistakes could cost not only money but safety and the integrity of the car itself. The drama intensified when social media became involved. Frustrated by the situation, Alex Gonzalez posted an ultimatum online, saying he would attempt to 3D print the necessary parts himself if Bugatti did not unblacklist the car within 24 hours. The post went viral almost immediately. Opinions flooded in from enthusiasts, collectors, and casual fans, creating a debate that spanned forums, YouTube comments, and automotive news outlets. Some praised the boldness and independent spirit of attempting to save a multi-million-dollar hypercar outside factory control. Others warned it was reckless, emphasizing that attempting to replace components like structural frames or safety systems without factory oversight could be dangerous. The story was no longer confined to a salvage yard or a private workshop. It had become a global spectacle. Suddenly, Armstrong and Gonzalez were not just facing technical and financial challenges. They were also navigating public opinion, where every decision was scrutinized. The pressure was immense, but also provided unprecedented visibility. Every step of the rebuild attracted millions of views, and the project quickly became one of the most talked about automotive stories on YouTube in recent years. Amid the tension, Bugatti began to engage more directly. CEO Mat Armstrong personally reached out to Alex Gonzalez and Armstrong, emphasizing a calmer approach and reaffirming the company's willingness to allow a proper factory rebuild. The conversation revealed the complexity of the options. The factory could carry out repairs for a figure far lower than the initial $1.7 million estimate, ranging between $600,000 and $700,000. Yet, the offer was more than a financial decision. It represented complete control over the rebuild process. Bugatti wanted the car to be restored to their precise standards, guaranteeing safety, performance, and long-term value. Gonzalez, however, hesitated. Handing the car over to France meant giving up control, uncertain timelines, and the potential for additional costs to appear once the car was in Bugatti's possession. From his perspective, the factory route, while safer, lacked transparency and removed the hands-on problem-solving element that had made Armstrong's rebuilds famous. Ultimately, Gonzalez chose a riskier path, keeping the car in Miami and attempting the independent rebuild. The decision would set the stage for one of the most public confrontations between a hypercar manufacturer and a content creator ever seen, with the world watching closely to see whether the underdog approach could succeed. As the rebuild progressed, Armstrong's team faced setback after setback. Small parts failures revealed larger issues, and unexpected damage forced constant adjustments to the plan. Every discovery reaffirmed Bugatti's warnings about the risks of working without factory support. Yet, the team persisted, sourcing components where possible, fabricating some parts, and using ingenuity to solve problems that were previously thought unsolvable outside a specialized factory. Each video update Armstrong shared illustrated not only the complexity of the Chiron per sport, but also the determination and expertise required to attempt such a project. Fans became emotionally invested, cheering for each small success and fearing each setback. The narrative was no longer just about fixing a car. It had evolved into a story of human persistence, technical mastery, and the clash between independent ingenuity and corporate control. This emotional connection kept viewers returning to the channel, eager to see if the $6 million Hypercar could be restored without factory intervention. Meanwhile, Bugatti maintained its firm position. Rimac publicly addressed the debate, clarifying myths and misinformation about repair costs and emphasizing the importance of safety. He explained that while some components might physically fit from other vehicles, using them outside precise factory testing could create serious dangers. Advanced engineering, exotic materials, and extreme tolerances meant that even seemingly minor components played a critical role in the car's performance and safety. Rimac praised Armstrong for his skills in content creation, but drew a clear line. Structural and critical systems in Chiron could only be safely repaired within a controlled environment of the factory. The public clash between Armstrong's independent approach and Bugatti's safety-focused stance highlighted a broader debate in the automotive world about the right to repair versus manufacturer responsibility. It questioned how much freedom an owner should have in maintaining a machine capable of extraordinary speed and performance, and whether independent rebuilders could safely challenge the authority of a global manufacturer. The debate surrounding the Bugatti Chiron per sport rebuild soon spread far beyond the immediate circle of enthusiasts and YouTube followers. Online forums, social media platforms, and automotive news sites all became arenas for heated discussion. Opinions were sharply divided. On one side, Armstrong supporters celebrated his audacity, skill, and commitment to restoring a car that most people would have considered permanently lost. They admired the DIY spirit, viewing the project as an emblem of independence and creativity, a challenge against rigid corporate structures that seemed to limit what car owners can do with their property. Every video update became an event, drawing millions of views and sparking intense commentary. Viewers were captivated not just by the technical feats, but also by the narrative of an underdog facing a seemingly impossible challenge. The story resonated with people beyond the car community because it reflected a broader theme: the tension between personal initiative and institutional authority. Armstrong was not merely repairing a vehicle. He was challenging a system, putting his expertise, reputation, and resources to the ultimate test. On the other side, many enthusiasts and experts sided with Bugatti, emphasizing the extreme risks involved. A Chiron per sport is not just a luxury object. It is a precision machine engineered to operate at the limits of speed and power. Tiny miscalculations in structural repairs, alignment, or safety systems could lead to catastrophic consequences. Critics argue that even the most skilled independent builder could not replicate the exacting standards and rigorous testing that a factory like Bugatti employs. The stakes were not only financial, they were also about human safety. A poorly repaired hypercar could endanger drivers and passengers, potentially undermining confidence in the brand. From this perspective, Bugatti's insistence on controlling the rebuild process and supplying only factory-authorized parts was both logical and responsible. Many collectors and experienced automotive voices also pointed out that a DIY repair Bugatti could suffer in resale value, regardless of how expertly it was restored. Factory certification guarantees provenance, quality, and long-term usability, essential factors for vehicles valued in the millions. This debate framed the rebuild as not only a technical challenge, but also a philosophical question about responsibility, trust, and the limits of individual initiative. The technical challenges of the rebuild were extraordinary. Every step revealed new obstacles that most people could not even imagine. Armstrong's team discovered hidden damage in critical systems that had initially appeared intact. Transmission mounts were torn in ways that required precision fabrication, and structural cracks in the carbon fiber monocoque demanded meticulous attention to prevent long-term failure. Armstrong's approach involved a combination of creative problem-solving, engineering knowledge, and resourcefulness. While some components could be sourced from secondary markets or fabricated independently, most required specialized expertise. Even small parts, like airbag modules or suspension components, had performance characteristics unique to the Chiron. Installing a seemingly compatible part from another car could have unpredictable consequences, affecting safety systems or handling dynamics. Armstrong had to continuously adapt, learning from each new discovery and carefully documenting progress to share with his audience. This aspect of the rebuild highlighted the rare combination of technical mastery, patience, and courage required to attempt such an unprecedented project outside the controlled environment of a manufacturer. The public attention surrounding the rebuild further amplified the stakes. Every video Armstrong posted drew millions of viewers, creating immense pressure to succeed. The story became a living example of modern social media influence, where a single YouTube channel could directly challenge a multi-billion-dollar manufacturer in a very public arena. Public opinion swayed back and forth with each update. Small successes, like fabricating a component or restoring a damaged panel, were celebrated widely, while minor setbacks or revelations of additional damage prompted criticism and debate. The narrative became about more than the car itself. It was now a story about human determination, the evolving power of social media, and the complex relationships between content creators, manufacturers, and global audiences. Bugatti, while firm in its position, could not ignore the intense public scrutiny, leading to careful, measured public statements designed to clarify their position while respecting Armstrong's efforts. This situation created a delicate balance, with Armstrong pushing technical limits and Bugatti maintaining safety and brand integrity, all under the global spotlight of online scrutiny. At the heart of the story lies a philosophical tension that continues to fascinate enthusiasts and casual viewers alike. The right to repair versus the responsibility of manufacturers. Armstrong and Gonzalez represented the belief that ownership should include freedom, skill, and initiative to repair and restore what is valuable. Bugatti represented the opposing view, that certain machines, by virtue of their extreme engineering, require centralized, expert control to ensure safety, longevity, and brand integrity. The clash is more than a single car. It is a debate about modern ownership expertise and the limits of DIY ingenuity in a world where technology increasingly demands specialization. Both sides had compelling arguments, and the debate energized online communities, making the Bugatti rebuild a topic of broader discussion about engineering, ethics, and the evolving role of social media in shaping public perception and corporate behavior. As the rebuild continued, each week brought new updates and challenges. Armstrong's team faced constant setbacks that tested their skill, patience, and resourcefulness. Even components that initially seemed manageable revealed deeper damage once they were removed and inspected. The carbon fiber monocoque, the very backbone of the Chiron Sport, had sustained stress fractures that required careful reinforcement to restore structural integrity. Every part, from suspension arms to safety sensors, demanded precision work and meticulous attention. Armstrong's ability to problem-solve in real time became crucial. Unlike a factory environment, where specialized machines and pre-tested components are standard, his workshop had to improvise while maintaining the safety and performance standards that a Bugatti requires. The rebuild became a painstaking process of testing, adjusting, and often starting over. Each successful installation or repaired section became a small victory, not just for Armstrong and Gonzalez, but for the millions of viewers invested in the story. The public attention surrounding the project never waned. Each video Armstrong posted became a viral event, with viewers following along as if they were part of the team themselves. Social media discussions debated every move, from sourcing components to the smallest detail in the interior finishes. Some viewers celebrated the ingenuity and daring of attempting an independent rebuild on a car that was once thought unsalvageable. Others remained skeptical, warning about the long-term implications of deviating from factory processes. The global visibility of the project meant that every decision had consequences beyond the workshop. Armstrong had to navigate not only the technical challenges, but also the scrutiny and expectations of a massive audience that had become emotionally invested in the car's fate. The story had grown into more than a rebuild. It had become a saga, a real-life drama where skill, determination, and human ingenuity were tested against extreme engineering and corporate caution. Meanwhile, Bugatti maintained its position with careful communication. CEO Mat Armstrong consistently reinforced that their offer to rebuild the car at the factory remained available, emphasizing safety, performance, and long-term value. The statements balanced respect for Armstrong's skills with clear boundaries on where independent work could safely end. Armstrong highlighted that even seemingly minor parts, if incorrectly installed or improvised, could lead to failure at high speeds or during a collision. Advanced engineering, extreme tolerances, and materials designed for high performance cannot easily be replicated outside factory control. While Armstrong's progress demonstrated extraordinary skill, Bugatti's position served as a reminder of the stakes involved when dealing with one of the world's most powerful and complex production vehicles. This careful communication ensured that the debate remained grounded in facts, safety, and technical reality, while allowing Armstrong to continue his rebuild. As the rebuild unfolded, a larger conversation emerged about ownership, skill, and responsibility. The case raised questions that extend far beyond the Chiron per sport. How much freedom should an owner have over an object they legally possess? At what point does expertise and creativity justify independent work on machines that require extreme precision? And how do manufacturers balance innovation and safety with customer autonomy? Armstrong's project became a living experiment in these questions, showing both the potential and the limitations of human ingenuity when applied to extreme engineering. It also highlighted the evolving role of content creators and social media in shaping public discourse, where a single rebuild project could spark global discussion and influence perceptions of a multi-billion-dollar brand. At its core, the clash between Armstrong and Bugatti is more than a story about a single car. It is a narrative about ambition, courage, and the tension between independence and authority. It reflects a timeless theme in human achievement, the underdog challenging established norms. The Bugatti Chiron per sport sits in pieces today, still under reconstruction, watched closely by millions. Every update generates excitement, debate, and admiration for the skill and dedication involved. Whether the car will eventually be restored outside the factory or whether it will return to Bugatti remains uncertain. Yet the story has already left a mark. It demonstrates the extraordinary lengths to which skilled individuals will go to save something rare and valuable, and it forces the automotive world to reconsider balance between individual effort, corporate responsibility, and the complex realities of modern engineering. Ultimately, the saga of the $6 million Bugatti rebuild is unfinished, but it has already become a defining example of modern automotive storytelling. It blends technical mastery with human drama, illustrating how extreme machines push both material and human limits. Armstrong's determination, coupled with Gonzalez's insistence on independent control, creates a narrative that resonates far beyond car enthusiasts. It challenges assumptions, raises ethical and technical questions, and captures the imagination of anyone who has ever faced a seemingly impossible task. For now, the world watches, waiting to see whether the fallen Bugatti will rise again, rebuilt, restored, and road-ready, or whether some machines, no matter how skilled a human effort, are destined to be returned to the hands of those who built them. This story is a reminder that passion, skill, and persistence can confront even the most daunting challenges, and that the line between triumph and caution is sometimes drawn in carbon fiber, steel, and human determination. Perfect. Here's the full. Polished it all began with a crash. A Bugatti Chiron per sport, one of the rarest and most powerful cars in the world, was involved in an accident that should have ended its story permanently. With a price tag of over $3.6 million when new, this hypercar was not just a machine. It was a masterpiece of modern engineering, combining raw power with extreme precision. Its owner, Florida-based influencer Alex Gonzalez, collided with the back of a small truck. Although the accident was at low speed and the truck was worth only a few $1,000s, the damage to Bugatti was devastating. The front end was crushed, carbon fiber panels shattered, airbags deployed, and critical structural components, including the front frame, were severely compromised. Initial inspections revealed that nearly everything ahead of the windshield was destroyed, and cracks in the carbon fiber monocoque chassis added a new layer of concern. Both headlights were gone, the signature horseshoe grille was ruined, and a repair bill quickly became